Good afternoon and welcome to today's vlog for Tuesday the 24th of February. Hope everybody is good. I was going to talk today to start off with about daily vehicle checks. This is probably aimed at guys that are thinking of, and girls that are coming into the industry or very new into the industry. If you're a class 2, class 1 driver, you're required under law when you put your tacho card in the mornings to do daily vehicle checks. Obviously the bigger the vehicle the more checks, but basic things, tyres, lights, and on Arctics airlines and straps and everything that's required with the vehicle. And you used to complete, back in my day anyway when I drove, you completed a defect logbook and then you hand that into the transport office at the first available opportunity. And of course nowadays everything is on an app, and most drivers now complete their checks on an app which automatically goes to the office. Now for us as van drivers, we don't have anything like that, and I've got to be honest with you, I wouldn't be against having a daily vehicle check as a requirement for a van. Now obviously if you're an electrician and living in St Albans and that's basically the area you work in, and you use your van for carrying tools and bits of equipment that you may need on your daily checks, that's absolutely fine, and this may not be applicable. But I think if you're a van driver and involved in hire and reward deliveries, which is what we do, then I think there would be a requirement for it. We see some right states on the vans on the road, and some of that is just down to not looking after the van from a point of view of cleaning it. But because if you don't look after your van by cleaning it, there's a fair chance you're not looking after your van mechanically. So this is what I do, and I'm not saying I'm goody two shoes or I'm doing it right, but it's just what I do going back from my class 1 days. Every morning when I come out, which is normally about 10 to 6 and it's pitch dark, so you can't see a lot, but as I go to the van and put my bits in the van, I'll just have a quick walk around and kick the tyres. Obviously if a tyre is flat, it's fairly obvious, but it's sometimes that beginning of a flat tyre that will cause you problems later, and a quick fairly sturdy kick may help you identify a problem. I'm able to check brake lights once I put the engine on by using the garage door. That works fine. And then what I do is the first opportunity when it's light, and there's no point really doing it in the dark, I will get out, obviously check all the rest of the lights, headlights, side lights, indicators, and then I will walk around every day and have a visual check on the tyres. We do go to warehouses, we go to building sites, and it's very, very easy to pick up something, and on the roads, that may cause damage to your tyres, and we see plenty of vehicles sidelined on the side of a road somewhere with a flat tyre. So tyre wear is really, really, really important. And then what I do on a weekly basis, every Sunday, it only takes 20 minutes, half an hour, apart from cleaning the inside of the van, giving it a bit of a polish and a brush out and tidy up. Again, this time I go around with the tyres and I use my little tyre gauge and just check the pressures. It's very straightforward. I've got my own little tyre machine if I need to put 1 or 2 pounds in, if something's dropped a little bit. And then also what I do, I just check all the levels. I go and manually check the oil every week. I know it comes up on the dashboard if I want to check, but for what it takes, I think it's worth checking to make sure the oil is good. I can top any water up, screen fluid, and I always top the AdBlue up on a Sunday. I only need 1 litre, 2 litres, not even that, depending on what I've done in terms of mileage. But and then have a good look around the engine block and around the engine area. I'm not a mechanic, I really, probably be honest, don't know what I'm looking at. But for example, last week there was quite a lot of hay that was around the engine block. I'd been following a hay lorry down one of the roads in Suffolk, and obviously it had all come off the lorry and sort of got inside my engine. I don't think it's going to catch fire and cause any damage, but I don't know. So using one of those radiator cleaner things, the long thin things, I got rid of all the hay that was sitting around the engine block. And it's just things like that you may notice that might save you a problem somewhere along the lines. Let me know if you think it would be a good thing or not to bring in daily vehicle checks, but to be honest with you, I'm not against it. Right, let's go on to today. Today has been curtailed. I will come on to that. I won a job yesterday afternoon, and I wasn't sure if I'd done the right thing or not done the right thing. It was a job from Colchester. It was going, I haven't written this down, so I'm doing this all out of memory. It was going 93 miles to Canterbury in Kent. Large van, and I quoted £110. And it took a little while before I got a phone call from the shipper, sort of 15-20 minutes or so, but I did get a call and I got offered the job, and that's fine. And while I was kicking myself, I'm starting to think I perhaps was a little bit too cheap on that. Probably thinking I should have gone 120, maybe 130. But because the problem is, if you'd gone at 120 or 130, I may not have got the job. And the good thing with this job was it was down for a 7:30 a.m. collection, which suits me fine. Anyway, it was done. So when the details come through, it's a small family business. I have picked up before for 2 or 3 different shippers. So that was good because I didn't know it opens at 7. So I got there 7:05 this morning. Goods were ready. It was only 3 long packages that had been shrink wrapped and bubble wrapped and covered, that were all 3 metre long, hence the long van. Literally took no time at all to put them in. 3 guys there, all put 1 in each, and give me the paperwork, and I was done off site by 7:10. So on the other hand, now I'm thinking I'm pleased I've got this job. I've got a good start to the day. I can get some miles under my belt, hopefully before the traffic gets too bad. A12 wasn't brilliant, very stop-start, but to be honest, it's quite normal. Whittam, you get a hold up, and then Chelsea, you get a hold up, and then Brentwood, you get a hold up as well. But anyway, the plan was sort of 2 hours 15 minutes, 2 hours 20 minutes to get to Canterbury. It took 2.5. Got there at 9:40. Was delivering to a college just on the outskirts of the city centre. Got on site, rang the contact. It took 5 minutes or so for them to come down to the van, but they did. And again, it took absolutely no time whatsoever to get the goods off. And at 9:45 in the morning, we're empty. So I'm thinking, okay, probably a good decision to take that job, even though it may be a few quid less than I would have liked. Canterbury, okay-ish area. You've also got a few areas around that work comes out from. So the plan was to go and get a cup of coffee, but I didn't have a chance. Job came up 10 minutes later from Sandwich. Sandwich is on the coast, about 30 minutes away, going up towards Margate, Ramsgate, that area, if you don't know it. It was a medium wheelbase job. 103 miles going to Heathrow Airport. I put a price of 115 on it. I was thinking there was vans around, but there wasn't too many vans, and I was only half an hour away, so I thought I'll go with that. It's about right, maybe £5 less than maybe some people would want to charge, but we'll go with it and see what happens. And I got a phone call straight away, so that was good. So by 10 o'clock I'm on my way to Sandwich. If you've been to Sandwich, it was the Discovery Park. It was within that complex. There was 4 or 5 vehicles queuing up. You have to go through security to get in. That took 5 or 10 minutes. Then had to let them know exactly where I wanted on site, give me a map. Anyway, got to the pickup point. It was 2 pallets I was picking up. So again, no great shape, no great problems. I was off site, I think it was about 11 o'clock. Again, sorry, I didn't write it down, but that's fine, that's all good. Got out of Sandwich just as I'm leaving. I needed to get some diesel, I needed a loo, and I needed to get a coffee and something to eat. So I did stop for 5-10 minutes and do that. I let the shipper know I'd be at the airport somewhere around about 1:30, which they were fine with, and that's how it worked out. A little bit of traffic on the south side of the M25, but I'll come to that in a minute. But we got to Heathrow Airport 1:25, and luckily the airport bit was quiet. It is one of those where you need to show identification and bits and pieces, but there was only a couple of vehicles and we got offloaded quite quickly. and off site by 1:45. The problem we have today is, if you're out and about, the M25 is closed between junction 28, which is the A12, and junction 27, which is the M11, in both directions. 2 lorries have crashed. I think one of them's got off the road and it's taken out some power cables, and the feed all over Twitter says it's likely to be shut for quite a few hours. It's already causing a 45-minute delay south of the accident, which is why there was a lot more traffic on the M25 going clockwise, because people have decided to avoid that. If you're going up to the M40, M1, A1, you might as well go round south side past Heathrow and then come back round the north and cut the problem out. And if you're coming from the other side and you're coming from sort of St Albans, A1, Enfield, there's a 35-minute delay getting to the junction 27, the M11. Obviously everything's going to be diverted down the M11. So I've made the decision. I had a quick look on the feed. There wasn't too much about. There was one job from Bracknell going up to Ipswich, which had to be delivered by 5. I don't think that's going to happen. Whatever way I go home, I'm going to get held up and delayed. I've made the decision. I'm just going to go home. It's already saying should be 2.5 hours this time of day to get home. It's already saying 3 hours. I'm going to have to come off. Hopefully I can get to the A10 without any delays and go up the A10 and then cut across through Bishop Stortford and the A120 home. At worst, I'll have to go up the A1 and cut across that way. But I don't think there's any point in trying to get any jobs into sort of the bottom end of Essex, Chelmsford, Harlow, Brentwood, because I'm just going to get caught in an awful lot of traffic. And I've had a decent day. I've done the 2 jobs. The first one, as I say, was at 110. The second job was 115. So that's 225 for the day. I'm happy with that. I think I've got to take that. I will get home. Probably going to get home at the moment at about probably just before 5 o'clock. I think the way it's staying at the moment, but that's fine. Anyway, going to call it a day there. I hope you had a good day yourself. It's another day ticked and over with. So far, a decent week. But last week it all fell down a little bit on Wednesday and Thursday. I do have that job booked for tomorrow morning, which I won last week, or was phoned up about last week, so that's good. Don't have to worry about looking for work. So yeah, we'll have another chat tomorrow. All the best now. Cheers, Paul.